brand tells a story. And they are the storytellers, the Sutradhars. They present a brand with band, baja and barat to you. They are the Brandwalas. Diamonds are no longer just about tradition. They are about emotion, identity and storytelling. At the forefront of this shift is Toranj Mehta, Vice President Marketing of De Beers India. With the Standout with Love from Dad campaign, she is reimagining how diamonds connect with a new generation, turning them into powerful symbols of personal bonds and modern love. Redefining luxury through emotion, Toranj Mehta is leading a narrative shift in the diamond industry. She is our Brandwala. Hello and welcome. You're watching the Brandwalas. I am Krishna Kumar and we are in conversation with Toranj Mehta, Vice President Marketing of De Beers India. Toranj, great to be talking to you. Thank you so much for being a part of the Brandwalas. I'm always curious about De Beers, especially De Beers' presence in India. If you can tell us, what has it been like, say, over the last year or so, last financial year just wrapped up. How has India performed for De Beers?
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here again. To give you a wrap up about how India has performed for natural diamonds overall, I think India has been the bright spot in the globe just now where natural diamonds are concerned. If you look at it, we've been growing at a CAGR of about 12% since the past 7-8 years. So it's been a very positive trajectory for natural diamonds in India.
Tell us, De Beers is a legacy global brand. Tell us, where does India feature as far as De Beers' global map is concerned, more strategically, financially?
So India is the fastest growing diamond market in the world just now. It is number 2 after the US where the diamond industry is concerned. And for De Beers, De Beers is investing quite a large amount here in India because it sees potential. Currently we are about the 17 or 18 billion dollar market. Sorry, we are about a 8 to 10 billion dollar market now. We see ourselves in the next 5 years to be at about 20 billion, which is almost double of what we are at currently.
How India has become a strategic priority. The Indian market, the Indian business has become a strategic priority for as far as the De Beers Group as a whole is concerned.
Because of the potential that we see in the market. Overall, India is growing at a very fast pace. And we see that the GDP is set to double in the next 5 years. It's an estimated. So that really means that there is double of what we are getting just now. So there is overall India is set to premiumize. If you will notice, consumers are moving up the ladder in terms of consumption, in terms of brands which they are consuming, which are quite premium. And we see that as a very strong potential for diamonds overall.
In that sense, in the Indian market, if you can tell us, it's performing so well, it's a global strategic priority as far as De Beers Group is concerned. What are the kind of trends that are driving the diamond market here in India?
If you will, when we look at consumers, in fact, we ran a diamond acquisition study, which is a survey that we conduct amongst 9,000 women. And the results from that were quite interesting. So, first of all, we saw that about 58% of the women buy diamonds to use as everyday jewelry. not as special occasion and put in the locker for 364 days, wear it for one day. Not like that. It is something that they want to wear every day.
Everyday luxury.
Everyday luxury, yes, exactly. So we noticed that. The second thing that we noticed is 51% of the people who had purchased were Gen Z, which which really is very encouraging, because that means a younger audience is seeing the value and the potential and the actual reason why natural diamonds are so precious, and that is something that is very encouraging for us. So I think in terms of trends, everyday wear jewelry, diamond jewelry, younger audience looking at it and understanding the true value of natural diamonds is something that we see happening.
Tell us, how do you view the lab-grown markets and their rise in the Indian market? Where do they stand at the moment?
So we have to be very clear that lab-grown products and natural diamonds are two very different things, and we should be able to explain to a consumer that they are two different things. Because if you were to look at it, natural diamonds are like the snow on the Alps, and if you were to compare that to the ice in the refrigerator, that's the kind of comparison you could do. So that's one thing that is that we need to keep in mind. Of course, natural diamonds hold inherent value and inherent preciousness because they are finite. Whereas when you look at lab-grown products, in my opinion, they are manufactured. So there is an endless supply. So something holding value and something that, like any technological product, will finally reduce in value. So those are the two major differences that you really have to think about. The third thing is you can make out under a machine immediately whether it's a lab-grown product or a natural diamond. So there are machines which will within seconds tell you what your product is about. So these are some things that you need to keep in mind when you're shopping. Of course, everyone has a choice to pick and choose whatever works for them. But I just feel it's not a replacement.
How do you see the overall preferences of consumers, their choices and preferences towards diamonds evolving in this context?
So we see that overall, since the past few years, as I mentioned, we've been growing at a 12% CAGR, which indicates that people are actually seeing value in buying natural diamond jewelry and looking at buying jewelry which has natural diamonds. The second thing is we also see that slowly the penetration is also building. So if you were to look at it 3 years ago, the penetration of natural diamonds in the country, by penetration I mean if there were 100 women who could wear natural diamonds, only 11% were wearing. But now if you were to look at it, out of the 100 women who can wear, 15% are wearing. So you see an upward trend towards women looking at buying natural diamond jewelry.
Tell us, how are the choices and tastes and preferences of Gen Zs and millennials shaping the diamond market in India?
Millennials go in for well-known branded products.
Okay.
Whereas Gen Zs also don't mind experimenting with smaller brands, but as a brand that talks to them as a community and makes them feel as part of a community. I think that's the biggest difference, I would say. Otherwise, from the other perspectives, I think both the groups really look for value, look for how well the brand is helping the further good and the purpose that the brand has. So both groups are very clear on that. There are slight differences here.
How are their preferences, as in millennials and Gen Z's preferences, different from the way it used to be before? What are the kind of products that they're looking for, and that sort of, and then the companies, big and small, catering to that kind of demand?
So as I mentioned, Gen Z looks at products which are far more making them belong to a community. So supposing there is a certain kind of icon kind of a ring or an iconic design. They would want to be part of that. Whereas millennials would go more with the larger brands, with the larger recognizable products.
Okay,
this is my opinion.
In terms of designs, then do these brands differ in the kind of designs that they put out to attract these customers?
Also, we should also think that there are some things that are universal, regardless of which
generation goes for it.
Yeah. So I think a very successful brand is one that actually does that. So not as separate for each generation, but works in such a way that all generations are attracted to it.
It's sort of like the movies. No, you want everybody to come to the movies, not just the Gen Zs or the millennials or the parents. Okay. Anyways, let's then move on then. You launched the With Love from Dad campaign last year. That's when we met, just at the time it was being launched. It's been a year of With Love from Dad, and that campaign is being scaled up and it's evolving. Talk to us about the inspiration behind going for, say, season 2 of With Love from Dad.
So we realized that there was a lot of engagement, a lot of emotional connect to this campaign. And whilst we did run it, we had run it as the first outing of De Beers after a long time. So we had experimented with it, but this time we are really pushing through across the country. So it's a far more larger outreach to the audience. The second thing is we've added far more products to the collection. So whilst we had shown 4 products last year, we've added 8 more products, and a variety of manufacturers are now building on those designs so that availability at jewelers is far more prevalent now. So we've gone on ground as well on air.
You were talking about everyday luxury. How do you see that impacting consumption as a whole of diamonds in the Indian market? Do you see that that attitude or aptitude, if I may, towards everyday luxury increasing the volume of sales per se, say on a monthly or a quarterly basis?
There is an increase in the overall uptake, but in terms of, I think a lot of evolution has also happened in terms of design. Whereas whilst when you were looking at, say, occasion purchase or wedding purchase, it's always the bigger sets, the larger earrings, the bigger rings,
the flashier ones.
Now you see more solitaire driven purchases, which are maybe just a single diamond or a pair of studs or something dainty which you can use every day.
Elegance and utility on a daily basis.
And also something that reflects your own style. So I think these are things that women are now gravitating towards
I'm asking this because, you say out of 100%, how much of it is everyday luxury now? Sales.
As I mentioned to you, in sales I don't know, but in terms of consumption, about 58% is what women want for everyday luxury. About 10% is what they buy for occasions.
So that's really 60% roughly, which is everyday luxury, which is where the market is going towards. And again, if it's everyday luxury and it's everyday natural diamond luxury, there is something that means that it continues to strike that emotional chord with the consumers, isn't it? Across generations. And it doesn't have to be only the previous generations who are obsessed with getting the natural diamond. That seems to have passed on from the previous generations to the millennials, to the Gen Zs, isn't it?
It is, because when you look at a diamond, it's something magical, where it's like nature's version of nature's art. So it is a miracle of nature. So, and people understand that when they look at a diamond, they see how precious something can be, how rare, and like a treasure that has come out of the earth.
How is it that this emotion, which is, you can't quantify it, right? This is just an emotion, it's just a feeling. How do you think this has been passed on? Because so many things invariably don't get passed on from generation to generations, isn't it? Especially when it comes to the way people feel about things.
I feel it is also about the fact that India's relationship with jewelry is very long-standing. It is an integral part of our culture.
But that's more to do with gold.
Gold as well. India is the birthplace of diamonds.
Fair enough, okay.
So Golconda, the mines were in Telangana. So I think inherently we understand value. We understand the preciousness of jewelry. And that's what really builds on this whole emotional connect.
Okay, and when I say across the board this emotional connect with natural diamonds, I meant both, not just different generations, but both genders as well. All genders, in fact. Men, women, and all genders in between. So are you seeing then diamonds becoming more and more gender neutral going forward?
I do see, and it's very encouraging to see men also upping their style quotient with diamonds. If you look at the cricketers of current day, you have so many cricketers sporting like massive natural diamond studs. Abhishek Sharma wearing a tennis neckline around his neck. So there is a lot of style which actually is coming into men where they are sporting the diamonds.
Again, last year when you launched the With Love from Dad campaign also was a time when De Beers sort of identified a set of culturally relevant traditions and rituals where diamond plays an important role. Diamond has always played an important role, continues to today and will continue to for a very long time. Talk to us about how that's shaping up.
So when we met last, it was the Love from Dad collection, which we are launching further. After that, we actually launched the Love from Bestie collection, which is about a pair of women best friends, because that relationship is a very underrated relationship. And,
is it?
and not celebrated enough. But it is something that is like a pillar in a woman's life. So we observed that and we looked at amplifying that celebration. Then we also launched the Love from Universe intention pendants, which were where we actually wanted to bring out the fact that because the diamond has come from the earth and has been in the earth for about 3.5 billion years, there is an inherent amount of energy, which is what our astrologers also recommend. So we wanted to bring that out and make them as an intention, as a symbol of women's intentions for them manifesting the best version of their lives. So that's what we launched the end of last year. So we have in fact widened our portfolio where we are bringing out modern day rituals and modern day traditions which are already happening in this country.
Okay, fascinating. I was really curious. These are different kinds of brand campaigns about one very simple product called diamond. You tell us what are the challenges when it comes to, when you're trying to brand something that's like a diamond that's 3,500 years old, possibly
3.5
billion years old. 3.5 billion years old. How do you, what are the, so say the nitty-gritties or the nuts and bolts of how do you come up with that brand campaign for a diamond?
Actually, it's very easy.
Because it's a diamond.
No, because consumers tell us. If you really listen to what they are doing, these are rituals that are already happening.
Yeah.
We are just packaging them well and presenting it to consumers in a far more aspirational manner. But consumers already are, every girl who gets a second piercing, 90% of them will use a diamond in their ear. When it comes to best friends, they always exchange gifts that, we'll go to the shop together, you buy one, I'll buy one, and we'll keep it. But that's something that we picked up on and we built the campaign. Similarly, for our intention pendants, manifesting and vision board making is a very strong trend just now, and a lot of young and old adults and children believe in that. So making a vision board for what they want to see themselves in the future, the kind of focus they have, that they want to live with intention, they want to achieve certain things in life. And those are things that we see as trends coming up, and that's what we pick up on.
I was asking this about brand and marketing campaigns for Diamond because those advertisements, especially the De Beers ones, they stand out in between any kind of programming.
Thank you.
You watch a cricket match, if a De Beers Diamond ad shows up, or you're watching a movie, there is that ring to it, if I may. What goes on behind that? Are you there when these things are getting shot, and you tell them, and what do you tell them? What is the conversations around that time? Because last time it looked so good, how can we make it even better than last time?
Yes, it's tough.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So how do you guys do it? If you can give us a sneak peek behind the scenes of how these things happen.
It's a very strong team effort. It's not just one person.
Yeah.
So, and we are really blessed with a really great creative team in 82.5, the agency. So it's a really collaborative effort where we all work towards making our next campaign even better than the last. And it is a tough task because you really need to tick all the boxes plus make an emotional connect. So that's what we work towards.
So clearly you don't want to give away the secret sauce of how this is done.
It's all teamwork.
It's teamwork. But tell us, in the future, going forward, the world is looking at so many challenges as we speak. What are the challenges do you think are there for the diamond market in India?
I think the diamond market is extremely bright. What we really want to ensure is that consumers don't get confused, and that clarity in consumers is important. In fact, the BIS guidelines have been launched where they have also created clear guidelines on how you should brand your product if you are a lab-grown diamond brand or if you are a natural diamond brand. So it is important that we follow those guidelines to ensure that when consumers are buying, they are aware that what they are buying is the right thing for them. So that's something that I think is a big part. Second is there is a myth in women's minds that natural diamonds are too expensive for me. Oh, I can't afford natural diamonds. That is something that they need to sort of break. Because if you go online and you research, you will be able to find a natural diamond product even in rupees 5,000. So it is really something that you should really, finally, if you really want to buy something, you should not hold yourself back just because you are thinking that you can't afford it. There is a lot of variety available, especially in India where people are so innovative when manufacturing is concerned or designing is concerned, that there is always something which will match your budget.
Any word of caution or you talk about the do's. The do's is that go out, buy the natural diamond. It's not that expensive. There's never more available. Any don'ts that you would tell the audience watching? Like, don't do this if you're out there looking for a good diamond.
So I would say that if a deal is too good to be true, then it is. It's not true. So, but other than that, you should go to a reputed jeweler. And also then at the end figure out if there is a proper certification of the jewelry that is available that you're buying. So I think these are the two sort of hygiene checks that you should have in your whenever you're purchasing to ensure that what you're buying is the real thing.
Okay, fair enough. Let's now talk about how you're pushing that message forward, how you're connecting with the people. And today, connecting with people automatically means online, one way or the other. And for a brand like De Beers, you have your own website, you have your presence on social media. Tell us, what is your social media mix like, and how do you leverage social media?
In fact, we have a very interesting handle it's at Hira Hai Sada Ke Liye. And if you would go to that handle, it's an eclectic mix of all things natural diamonds. So it's a very interesting place to go to understand more about natural diamonds, understand the happenings on natural diamonds, and of course what we are going to be coming up with soon. The second thing that a lot of people have questions on natural diamonds, which sometimes they don't know where to look for a credible source.
Like a 101 on natural diamonds.
Yes. We have a website called diamondisforever.com, and in that you get a lot of your questions and queries will be answered with the kind of articles we have on that. So I think these are the two places that we can go, which all can go to actually understand what's happening in the world of diamonds.
Fair enough, but I'm still curious to know, how do you do your posts on social media? How do you use social media as a tool? And today, how do you leverage both AI and social media for diamonds?
So on AI, I'll give you a very interesting example. So as I mentioned to you, our penetration is only at 15%. So we have, and if you were to compare it to the US, that is the US penetration for diamonds is at about 70%. So there is a huge
long way to
go for us. So to help build on that, we've created a project called Indra, which is the Indian Natural Diamond Retailer Alliance. And in that, it allows for jewelers to become members and then have access to an AI tool which will allow them to create their own marketing materials for their products at a simple press of a button. So it's just one photo that you take and everything will be created for you. And that too in their language. So it is a multilingual support system that we've created for them. So that is where we've actually leveraged AI a lot to help build on their products and their marketing support. For us as a natural diamond marketing effort, our posting is also a lot about what is happening within culture for natural diamonds. It may not be something as a brand that we are doing, but if it is something that is of importance, like Taylor Swift's engagement ring or Bad Bunny wearing a desert diamond solitaire on
pop culture.
Yeah, so pop culture. So those are things also that we will bring in to build up on our social, because it's about consumption of culture that is the most prevalent in our audiences.
So you have that team that's constantly tracking all global news and events. That is where they're finding, the key word for search is diamond, and then and pluck out headlines. Is that how it works?
No, there is much more, because there is a lot of planning that goes before that also, because we are aware of where the big cultural moments will happen.
So you pre-plan it either way?
Yes, we do. We also participate in quite a few of them. Like we had the Indian Art Fair a few months ago, where we actually participated to showcase the whole journey of a diamond right from the time it is born till the time it is on your finger, as nature's art. So those are areas where we are planning to integrate into culture. But there are, of course, given diamonds are diamonds, there are many, many more areas where they just come up.
Fair enough. We will leave it at that. Toranj, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on The Brand Wala.